Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Kay, and I'm here today to bring you Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 118. Okay, so we are back from our 1 week hiatus, and we are picking up right where we left off. The primary focus of this episode today is Catherine and Eva being released from the hospital, and then a little side quest with Joey, Vanessa, and Deanna. So, as we know previously, Tomas had been planning a welcome home party for Kat, right? But remember last week, well, not last week, the week before last, when, Anita and Vernon and Naomi found out about it, Anita insisted on them moving the party from the country club to their home, which I thought made total sense, right? Because, Kat stays with them, and so if she's on the mend, what better way to celebrate her at home? That way she's not around too many people, she's just around immediate family, right? So, also remember when Tomas approached Chelsea and asked if, marrying Kat was a good idea, and Chelsea was like, no. And then remember when Kat was going through therapy, I think Tomas had a brief conversation with Ted asking for Kat's hand in marriage, and Ted had concerns, right? So, while Kat is being, discharged from the hospital, Tomas is the only person there. So they're, tidying up the room, making sure she got all of her belongings because she's getting ready to go to the house. And Kat is looking for her family and is surprised that nobody is there, you know what I'm saying, while she's about to go. She was thinking that at least her parents would be there, right? Well, of course, since Tomas is throwing this shindig at the Grand's house, he is taking it upon himself to tell everyone to just meet him at the house, and he would go and take Kat on his own merit. Kat seemed kind of disappointed by that. She didn't seem like, that was something that she was wanting, but she just went along with it. So as Kat is leaving, Isaiah and Leslie are in the other room, packing up Eva. She's in a wheelchair. Leslie bought her balloons and everything. Isaiah peeps that Kat is leaving. And so I guess they make eye contact, and Isaiah pops one of the balloons to take the attention away from Kat leaving. And right when, Kat is making her escape, Eva sees her, and then they exchange a little smile to each other. And so I thought that was a nice little pleasantry because, things seem to be cool for now. So Kat leaves and goes home. So Shanice calls Ted, right? And tells Ted, both of your daughters are leaving the hospital. Kat is on her way to the house. And so then Ted informs everybody at Vernon and them at the house that, Kat is on her way. So, it's just one thing I noticed. So I'm just like, so Carlton just ain't around no more? Like, Nicole is just strictly entertaining Kyle now? Like, did we fully make this transition? I just, want to know, because I thought that she was seeing both, but we don't really see her spend time with Carlton no more. I mean, and Carlton was only on screen for 2 seconds to let her know that, something's going on at the hospital and you should be up here because Ted is up here. It wasn't anything, spectacular. So I'm just like, okay, well, this is the second family function that, Nicole has brought Kyle to. I'm like, so Kyle's getting acquainted with the family. He's getting comfortable, So I thought that was interesting. It was interesting also to see Ted there, because, Nicole, this is, I think, the first time Nicole has brought Kyle around the family while Ted was there. So that was different. Ted also had a brief conversation with Andre and said that he felt some resentment towards Anita and Vernon after Nicole and him had split. And that kind of confused me a little bit because I'm just like, well, in what regard, Ted, were you feeling resentment? Because you were the one who had the affair that produced a child and hid it for many years. So I'm trying to figure out in what way did you feel resentment? And I don't know if it was because, Bill was around and, they had started back getting cool with Bill, or, he was just like left out to dry. Nobody reached out to him to see how he felt or anything like that. I don't know. I was a little thrown off by the word resentment. I thought that was interesting. We didn't really, he really didn't go into detail really about, he didn't really go into detail about it. Also, we see Naomi pull Kat to the side. I mean, not Kat, Chelsea to the side. And, they have their little sister moment, which, I love seeing Chelsea and Naomi on screen together having their little sister moments. And I think we should get more of those Beyond the Gates writers, because we don't really see them bond. Just like we don't really see Kat and Martin really have like that brother-sister time. We have seen a few moments on screen, but not many. In comparison to how many Danny and Nicole, sister scenes we get. But either way. So Naomi is talking to Chelsea and was like, Chelsea, do you think Tomas is finna propose today, girl? Because as you know, Chelsea filled Naomi in and she told Madison. Speaking of Madison, where is Madison? Madison ain't never at the functions. Madison won't at the cotillion. Madison won't at the speech. Now she ain't here. Anyway, so Chelsea was like, no, I don't think Tomas is gonna propose today. I mean, I hope not. And so, while they're talking, many people in the family don't know about many people in the family don't necessarily know about the proposal. So it's just interesting, to see how all this is going to play out, right? So we have Martin and Smitty catching everybody up on, what's going on with the kids. So while the break was going on, Tyrell graduated, and they also went to the Bahamas because, that was mentioned the week before last. And Samantha wasn't there because she went with June to get her first mammogram. And Tyrell wasn't there because he went on his senior trip to Myrtle Beach. And so I was just like, okay, well, we had a little bit of things going on. They didn't mention Anita's surgery. I was wondering if Anita had, did her procedure while they were on this 1 week break, but that wasn't mentioned. So I don't know. But, everybody was, Danny and a few others were kind of committing Anita because, with all the things that she had gone through with her fight with cancer that, I'm sorry, y'all, I got to move this one more time because this is just, this is not right. With her battle with cancer, they were saying that, she had, inspired some other people to take their health, put their health into their hands or whatever like that. So that was good. There were a few innuendos today about secrets, people not knowing things. Andre, lot of foreshadowing with Andre speaking up on, him and his wife having an embarrassing moment. There being secrets. Danny is the best secret teller. It was a moment where Danny and Andre had a moment with Vernon and Anita, and they were saying how Andre said that he knew something about Tomas, proposing, and he didn't mention it to Danny, and Danny found out, and she was just like, not you keeping a secret from me or whatever like that. So then, Vernon says how, Danny is a good secret keeper. And I was just like, looking at Anita, I'm just like, Anita looked like she knows something is going on. And I'm just ready for her to clock Danny because clock her, girl. That secret is eating her up. When her father meaning Danny, when Vernon said, my daughter could have worked for the CIA because she know how to hold a secret, that girl looked about green in the face like she just wanted to throw up right there, girl. I seen the throw up, girl. You felt sick. You looked visibly sick because you have a secret, girl. You have a secret that is tearing you apart inside. And for this man that you care about so much, girl, you ain't telling him the truth and you trying to just hide it. And I just can't wait till we get to the point where either she tell him or somebody spill it. Because at this point, you will be busted if you don't come out and say it, Danny. Because they going to tell it. Somebody going to tell it. So, and I'm just like, wow. We just, in here just vibing. So Tomas and Kat gets there, Smitty walks out the house. Chelsea, and Naomi are off to the side again, having a little moment. They see Tomas arrive at the house with Kat, and they was like, well, I don't see no ring. Anita said she checked for a ring. She ain't see one because they told Anita about a proposal possibly. And everybody was just kind of shocked that, there was even mumblings of a proposal going on because nobody even knew that they was even at that point in their relationship. And so Chelsea and Naomi are having a sidebar conversation and Smitty walks in. And so basically Naomi was like, Smitty, basically Tomas bought Kat a ring. He was like, what kind of ring? And she was like, an engagement ring. And he was like, oh my God, Tomas is going to propose? And Chelsea was like, yes, he ran it by me or whatever. And Naomi was like, do you think that Chelsea should have told Kat something? And Chelsea was like, no, I don't think it's my place. And Smitty was like, no, I don't think it's her place either. And to be fair, as sister cousin, as bestie cuz as Chelsea and Kat is, and as much as I would have loved for Chelsea to spill the beans to Kat, I do think Chelsea was right. I don't think it was her place to say anything to Kat about it. But now that this is going on, I think Kat will be smart. Well, Kat is smart. Kat is smart. And so I do think that she will put two and two together. And when, we see the next scene between her and Chelsea, I do think that conversation that she had with her in her hospital room will come back up because Chelsea asked her a certain amount of questions, or she asked her specific questions regarding marriage and future partnership and everything like that. And Kat did tell her, as we saw 2 weeks ago, that she was not ready to be married. And so Vernon starts giving his speech at the party or whatever, right? And Tomas cuts Vernon off. And I'm just like, first of all, Tomas, not only do you got too much dip on your chip, this is this man's house. You know that, right? And he is the patriarch of that family. You know that, right? That is her grandfather, Vernon the Dupree, senator and civil rights activist that you are interrupting in his home, in which he extended to you to render this soiree for your girlfriend, his granddaughter, whom he is trying to honor at this moment. And so Kat was like, that's my granddaddy. You interrupted him. People, we don't interrupt. When granddaddy is speaking, we don't interrupt. We listen. And Tomas was like, girl, like, he'll understand this one time. So he gets down on one knee and asks Kat to marry him. Kat does not respond. That went exactly the way I thought it was going to. Because I'm just like, Kat is one of them girls. Kat, you can't make Kat do nothing that she don't want to do. So she decides, Vernon was like, let's give them some space. Kat was like, no, let us excuse ourselves. You guys stay here. They go into the other room. They have a discussion. Kat was like, Tomas, I'm confused. Like, what's the tea? Because when did we reach the point where we decided that we was ready for marriage? And he was just like confused. He was like, well, I thought that when I said you were my future and you agreed and you said you couldn't wait to, be together. I had this whole proposal that I wanted to do when we went to Puerto Rico. But now since you have had emergency surgery, you can't fly right now. And so I was like, well, I got to, get my plans together because, the hurricane made me realize, well, not the hurricane, the tornado made me realize, like, I want this commitment. I want this, life with you or whatever. And as flattered as Kat was, she was like, Tomas, I just really feel like now is not the time. We didn't really speak on that. And I'm really surprised. I didn't expect you to do that in front of my family like that today. And my answer is still no. Is it possible that you could wait for me and then maybe at a later date we can try this again? And Tomas took it on the chin, but his face was on the floor. And he had to go like this and, reassemble it back because his face. And then the can we do this at a later was a pie in the face because he shouldn't have did it. And I really think this now is going to change Kat and Tomas's relationship because everybody, also brought up the fact that he slept with Eva. They also brought up the fact that, Kat moved in with Vernon and Anita because Tomas and Kat decided that they wasn't ready to live together, which living together before y'all have a commitment is a little shaky to me anyway, but that's neither here nor there. But I was just like, dang, Tomas. And so he had to basically go out there and eat crow as well because not Tommy. What's his man? What's the man name? Ted told him no. Chelsea told him no, and he didn't listen. And so now he's out there embarrassed. And Andre goes over there to comfort him and say, don't worry. We all have had embarrassing moments. It's cool. They ain't going to be too hard on you. And, Chelsea tells Kat that she did a great job and that she did it with class. And she was clear, precise, and, kind, and used her words wisely. And I just think that this may be the end of Kat and Tomas. And if so, I hope so. Because I didn't like Tomas for her anyway. Tomas is not enough. Kat, while I have had my, feelings about her and her behaviors in the past, Kat is a brilliant girl, very smart, determined, strong-willed, ambitious, gorge, to say the least. A great family member, has a big heart. But I think she deserves more. And I don't think Tomas can give that to her. And I also think that Tomas was I think the engagement was kind of backhanded because I do think that he was doing that to prove to Bill that, he is in a committed relationship. And that, he wants to show Bill that he is serious about being a lawyer and having a very bright and long future in his firm. And so I just, I'm interested to see how that will be communicated to Bill. Because it was his bright idea. Also, I'm interested to see how Kat is going to feel once she finds that out. Because I don't think she knows that part, at least to that detail yet. So I'm interested to see how that's going to go over. And just, how he treats her moving forward. Now that we have gotten that out the way, mini sidebar. Jacob is still pulling out his beard and his hair to find out what's going on with the impaler. He has no new news. And I just wish that, now that everything has happened with that storyline, that they just drop that storyline and let it go. I'm over it. Back to the original thing at hand. Deanna is around again. Deanna has reached out to Vanessa. She has arranged a spa date, mother-daughter time for her. We see Deanna talking to her phone, and it's a picture of her and Doug. And she's telling her father that she is going along with the plan. And I don't know. It's starting to look a little. Deanna is a little off, but I don't know. Maybe this is backed with her grief. Maybe that's how they're trying to tie it in. Or maybe I'm just late interpreting it like that. But nonetheless, her strong feelings toward her father, his death, how he was honored, how the family is moving forward. She has had very strong feelings about that. And so she's also had even stronger feelings about her mother being with Joey. Her and her mother have not been seeing eye to eye. And so I guess this is this is Deanna's first step toward trying to make a move to figure out what exactly is going on with her mother and Joey. Joey is immediately skeptical. He don't have nothing good to say. He don't have anything good to say. He told Vanessa that he don't think it's a good idea. Oh, before I get there, Deanna has told her mother that she wants to work with her real estate agency during the summer, right? Joey finds this out, and Joey is immediately on guard because, as we know previously, Joey has been funneling money through Vanessa's business illegally. So he's thinking that if Deanna is there, since Deanna don't like him and she has a grudge against him, that if she digs deep enough, she will find out about the money laundering and she will bust Joey. So Joey is telling Vanessa, girl, I don't trust your daughter. I don't think it's a good idea. You don't think it's strange all of a sudden she want to get close to you and she want to work with you and she want to make amends with you and specifically work with you at your agency. She's trying to find something out. She's trying to dig. And if you want me to, I can get her a job with the people at Uptown because they always hiring and that'll be more of her speed for a summer job. I'm like, Joey, nah. Don't get shaky now. Don't get sketch acting now, because it's a possibility that you might get busted. Because let me tell you something. I'm waiting on you to get busted. You will be busted. I can't wait till you get busted. Because not only did you take her father out, you are now arranging for Randy to follow the girl or try his best to dig in deep to see what's going on so that you can report back to him. So that he can report back to you on what exactly is going on. And Vanessa, just clueless. Just clueless. I ain't saying Deanna ain't wrong, but I ain't gonna say she right either. I'm gonna say she doing whatever she gotta do to make sure that justice is brought to her daddy and that she make him proud in her mind. Donnell, not around. Joey be trying to play Donnell, but, he said Donnell is very straightforward and to the point. But Deanna, she is cunning, witty, and she will deep dive into everything that's going on. And you know what? I can't even blame her. I can't. And I hope she finds you out, Joey. I hope you get busted. But Joey, I'm not playing with you. Don't let this little thing turn into nothing that gets Deanna hurt. Because you will be found out. And Randy is conflicted because he already knows that Joey did something to Doug, and Doug was his best friend. And so he's in between a rock and a hard place because he loves Vanessa like a sister. And their kids pert near his niece and nephew for real. He said he ain't seen them in a long time, but he knows about them. They know about him. And he feels conflicted. He said something to Joy, but Joy was like, I get the job done. I was like, dang, Randy. But yeah, y'all. I think that's all for this episode. What did you think? Do you think that Do you think Tomas will feel the way post engagement denial? Um, do you think he'll stick around, or do you think he and Kat will break up? Also, what are your thoughts on Joey and his scheming around his plan for Deanna? Leave me your comments down below, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with episode 119. This is